Welcome to a Midwest Autoharp Academy virtual video workshop. Now, normally, Charles Widmer and I would be offering the Autoharp Academy in April, but because of the pandemic, we're unable to do that this year. But the good news is we're going to have a live in-person Autoharp Academy in October. The dates are October 19th to October 22nd. It's held in a beautifully restored 1880s railroad station in Leavenworth, Kansas, right on the Missouri River. We chose this site because it is very close to the airport and close to major highways. And there are motels within walking distance and campgrounds nearby. So it's just a great site to hold a week-long Autoharp Academy. If you're interested, there's more information on our website. Now, did you ever wish that you were more accurate at pinching melody notes? Well, in this video, you're going to learn the principles of improving melody playing accuracy. You're going to learn to improve your ability to anchor your hand in space in front of your Autoharp. You're going to learn how to refine your hand movement, and you're going to learn how to train your brain. You'll be learning the melody, the William Tell Overture, which is a great practice melody for improving playing accuracy. Now, I'm a kid from the 1950s and 1960s, and every time I play this melody, all I can hear is the theme of the Lone Ranger television program. And I can still hear the Lone Ranger shouting, "Hi-ho, Silver, away!" So, "Hi-ho, Silver, away," we're going to learn the melody first. You need to find the G, the D, the A7, and the E minor chord. I've broken the melody down into 4 phrases, and we're going to play those 4 phrases slowly, and then we're going to play the whole tune. Now that you've gone over the 4 phrases, we're going to play the whole tune. And to play the whole tune, we're going to play those 4 phrases, and then we're going to repeat the first 2 phrases again. So here's the music, and let's play it through slowly. The first principle of improving your playing accuracy is to improve your ability to anchor your hand in space in front of the Autoharp. Now, playing the Autoharp is a physical activity, and it requires some muscle strength to do. And if you don't have the strength, what happens is that when you're holding your arm up in front of your Autoharp, if it's not strong enough, your hand tends to wander either to the left or to the right, and then you're playing notes above or below the melody note instead of playing the note that you want. I once saw a physical therapist and showed him how an Autoharp is played and asked him what sort of exercises would help an Autoharp player. And he suggested any sort of exercises that you do with your hands above your head. And that could be something as simple as arm raises, where you're lifting your arms up above your head. But you don't want to get exercise advice from a musician. There are plenty of great resources on the World Wide Web. In fact, here's a website that I use a lot to help craft my exercises, because they do exercises for all different ages of people and all different abilities of people. But the basic principle is you need the strength to suspend your hand and anchor it in front of the Autoharp without moving for several minutes in order to hit the note that you want. And you do that by strengthening your shoulder and your back muscles. So consider looking into some exercises. The second principle of improving your melody playing accuracy is to refine your hand movement. Now, most people, they do a pinch by moving their thumb and their finger towards each other, and they usually use their second finger. Now, by refining your hand movement, I mean that you're wanting to pluck just a 3-string area on your Autoharp. If you push down any chord bar on your Autoharp, what you find is that 2 of the strings are dead and 1 string rings. So if you're able to refine your hand down to hitting just a 3-string area, then you just have one melody note playing at a time. If your hand movement has you plucking 4 strings, you're going to hear 2 strings ringing instead of just that single melody string. If your hand movement has you just plucking a 2-string area, then you just hear a lot of dead strings. So again, you're trying to bring it down to just a 3-string area so you can accurately play a melody note. And the way you work at refining it down to be in just that one small area is remove your thumb pick, and you continue to do the pinch movement just like you normally would. But now, with your thumb pick gone, all you're going to hear is your finger pick plucking strings. So try pushing down your G chord and just playing a repeated middle G string with me. So it just sounds like that. Now you should hear that same note repeated each time. And that tells you that you're able to anchor your hand in space without it wandering up higher or wandering down lower, because if you wandered, you'd be hitting different notes at different times instead of the same note repeatedly. And you want to just hear that one string ringing, and that means you're hitting that 3-string area with each pinch. So just hitting that one string repeatedly is one good way to begin to practice anchoring your hand in space and refining your hand movement to plucking just a 3-string area. But let's try playing the first phrase of the William Tell Overture with just our finger pick on, but doing this regular pinch movements. And we'll try playing it slowly and just listen and see how accurately you're able to play that first phrase. The third principle of improving your melody playing accuracy is to train your brain to move your hand to the correct place over the strings. Now, classical musicians, they use all sorts of different playing exercises to do this. But folk musicians, we play tunes, and those tunes provide us all the movements that we need in order to train our brains. So if you look at the second phrase of the William Tell Overture, it contains everything you need to begin to train your brain. First, it repeats the same notes 8 times. Then it plays a little scale up and a little scale down so that you begin to train your brain to become more accurately at plucking those one-note intervals, up a scale and down a scale. Then it plays 3 notes in which are spaced a third apart, or 3 notes apart from one another. So this one phrase trains your brain to play repeated notes, to play a scale up and a scale down, and to play intervals of a third of 3 notes apart. Just one phrase does that. So let's try that phrase together. You want to do the pinches again without your thumb pick on, just having your finger pick on so that you clearly hear the melody that you're playing, but continue to do the same pinch movements as normal. So let's try that second phrase together. Improving your playing accuracy takes time and repeated practice. But you want to work on the 3 principles of strengthening your body by strengthening your back and your shoulder muscles by doing exercises. And that will allow you to anchor your hand in space in front of your Autoharp. You want to refine your hand movement so that you're only plucking a 3-string area with your finger pick, so that you just hear one melody string ringing at a time. And you do that by removing your thumb pick and just keeping on a finger pick and doing the same pinch movement when you're playing a melody. And then you listen and get feedback of how accurate you are. Or you record yourself and listen to get feedback on how accurate you are, so that you begin to refine that hand movement down to where you're just hearing the one melody string ringing at a time. Then you want to train your brain, and you do that by playing melodies that have repeated notes to them, that have scales, and that have intervals. Now I have another YouTube channel called the Autoharp Player's Companion. And on that site, I've got over 50 beginning melodies that people can learn to play. And 3 melodies that are very good for training your brain are My Bonnie Lies Over the Ocean. It has scales, it has intervals, and it has repeated notes. Also, She'll Be Comin' Round the Mountain has many repeated notes. And Bicycle Built for Two has scales and intervals in it to help you begin to train your brain. So don't get frustrated if this doesn't come to you immediately, but if you keep working at it and practice over time, it will come to you. Your playing will improve, and you'll feel more satisfied with how things sound. If you're a more experienced melody player, you can try jumping the octaves in a melody in order to train your brain even more. And you do this by breaking a melody down into phrases and playing a phrase in one octave, and then the next phrase you jump to a different octave, and then you jump to a different octave, and then you jump to a different octave throughout the tune. The William Tell Overture, you can actually play it in 3 different octaves on your Autoharp. You've got your middle octave, you've got your higher octave, and you've got your low octave. Now, the melody actually sounds best in the middle and the higher octave. But by jumping those octaves, you're training your brain to move your hand over large spaces and then accurately find that next note. You use the same chords, you use the same hand movements, you're just moving your hand over a large space to a correct position in front of the Autoharp. So I'm going to end this video by playing the William Tell Overture and jumping between the octaves for different phrases. And just because it's fun, I'm going to switch from it being 4/4 to playing it in waltz time in 3/4. So come join Charles Whitmer and I in October at the Midwest Autoharp Academy. And until then, have fun playing your Autoharp.